Okay, so my format is a little different, especially because my story is a little different. Unfortunately, after or through my homeless situation, I did not get my babies back. And in fact, one of them passed away and the other two got adopted out through a foster situation. Also, when I was writing this, I decided to do a letter to them, to honor them. And it ended up being like 7 pages front and back, so, so there's gonna be some choppiness here. So bear with me, I promise you nothing. And my glasses are ugly. Okay. And to get to the beginning. Okay. Dear Wasabi, Sashimi, and Kit Kat, also known as Kitsune. I miss you so much. I'm in hopes that this letter reaches your hearts in a way that can heal all of us. I still remember when you became part of our family. Sabi and Shimi, when you came to us, Saya was about a year old, give or take. That's my daughter, Saya. It was around 2010. We had recently come out of homelessness when we heard that you were born. When my sister Elaine told us that you were old enough to leave the nest, we hustled miles out east to go and get you and bring you home with us. And now I can't see where I was. It was, thanks. So you made our hearts full. It was incredibly warming to see you whenever we came home from being out for the day. Sabi, you would vibrate your tail with excitement. Sometimes you would run to your food bowl and start eating while meowing. There's nothing like the sound of a cat meowing while chewing. Anybody know what that sounds like? Oh, yeah. So what really gets me, though, is that Saya, who's now 15, still remembers that, even though she was about 2, close to 2, when you did that. Shimi, when you were excited, you would plop down onto your side and just start purring. How could we not pet you when you looked like a perfectly fluffy, vibrating pillow? The two of you were really perfect, really the perfect beginning to a wholeness of our family. It was me, a single mom with complex PTSD, with a curious daughter, miles away from a family we felt rejected from. We were on our way, on our own in many ways, until we united with you. Your existence made me feel loved, accepted, and worthy of being loved and needed. I still look at old pictures of you two cuddled up, Shimi and Sabi. Shimi, you were the runt, and Sabi, you were the big one. But by the time we moved to our bigger apartment in Sayville, 2 years later, Shimi was the big one. When I was having symptoms of depression, the two of you became my safe place. When I was anxious, both of you would take your positions on me and wouldn't move until I moved you. Even then, you'd make your way back to me or would stay close until I was still again. Sabi, you were an anxious one yourself. You would climb up on me and stay on my chest as to calm me. Within recent years, I learned what you were doing, syncing our heartbeats so that we could be calm together, bringing both of us to a resting heart rate. In the midst of our time in Sayville, there was a period of my life where I was having suicidal thoughts. But because of you, I wouldn't make a plan. I was mostly bedbound, and I say mostly because I would only get up to go to the bathroom and to feed you and to feed Saya. And at that time, I only ate because I needed something in my stomach to take my meds. Yes, it was that bad. I entered a state of chronic suicidal ideation where I just jumped. Suicidal ideation because I couldn't bear the thought of leaving you. I could imagine a world where Saya would be safe with a family member or my best friend, but I could only see darkness when I imagined you without me. I would frequently imagine terrible tragedies that could happen and visualize the two of you roaming in desolate streets aimlessly trying to survive. The very thought of you not having me to care for you kept me from making the irreversible decision to leave this earth by my own hand. Of course, the journey through the season of ideation was rough, but you helped me keep fighting for you, for Saya, and for this beautiful family. Shortly after, I registered you on ESA.org, which ended up being a scam, by the way. Just in case something happened to me, or if there were an emergency. This way the emergency services would know to look for you, or where you were, or where you belong. As I healed, Shimi, you became the protector, and Sabi, you became the analyzer and the healer. Shimi, I vividly remember how protective you became whenever my protective sister, Alicia, came over. It was like a showdown. The only thing we were missing were the tumbleweeds blowing by. The growling and the hissing you let out, hiding underneath the couch as if to watch Alicia's every move. And it was every time she came by, this would happen. Only when she came by, not anybody else. I knew it was a battle of who's in charge of protecting us. And then when Kit Kat came to us, Shimi and Sabi, you were not happy at first, but eventually you let her in and treated her as if she was your own little baby. Kit, you were mostly with Saya, and you made her feel so happy. The way you would meow was so adorable. You sounded like you were saying, meow. So we had this joke, and you were actually a part of it, and it's kind of weird. We'd say, whatever you want, Kit, Kat, when do we want her? And you would go, no. The three of you really completed our family. I miss sleeping with you. The positions you took when I would climb into bed, you had me pinned down, and if I moved, one of you would go flying. So I stayed still. It was nice and warm. I felt my safest with you in bed. There were quite a few things that led us to part ways. This is where it kind of like jumps, so good luck understanding. One of which is that the emergency shelter that we moved into refused to acknowledge the rights we had as a family and for us to be together. We had to put you in a foster. During the time between 2018 and the end of 2020, I felt lost without you. There were many times when I would wake in the middle of the night thinking you were pinning me down on the bed, but then I'd realize it was just a heavy spot in my comforter. Nobody was there. Shimi, when I found out you passed away at the foster's home, I felt so sick. Like my life and Saya's life had been taken. Then to think about all you were going through and I wasn't around to protect you. I felt guilty for years. Even now, I still picture how terrified you were. I know logically it's not my fault, but I still carried the weight emotionally. I fought like hell for you. Even still, I look for you and Sabi. I look for Sabi and Kit all the time. Today I do my best to honor you in everything I do. Sai and I are now housed in a nice apartment with Sai's big brother for about 3 years now. I started school for cat behavior in hopes to use my certification to prevent what has happened to us from happening to other families. I've been a part of an organization that shares the same value of keeping families together like ours, and they're called My Dog Is My Home. And with their encouragement, I am able to tell my story to further fight for families like ours. You now have two fuzzy kitty siblings named Cowboy and Bebop, and I think you would love them. We adopted them as soon as we felt strong enough and safe enough to love again. We will always look for you and hope that wherever you are happy. May we meet again.